Ladies and gentlemen, the American Jury and Bulldog Nation, I wanted to give you a little legal insight on what's going on in the Rittenhouse case. And as always, I promise some originality and some information that you may not get anywhere else. I'm recording this show at about 9:20 on Thursday. I think the jury begins deliberation again at 9. The thought actually occurred to me that this jury is going to definitely want to announce their decision during the daytime and preferably in the early morning. One thing that we know is the folks that burnt down cities stay up all night. So it would not shock me if the jury comes in today early and has a decision very quickly. At the same time, I could envision this jury actually wanting to take a little bit of time to prove that they actually deliberated over all the evidence. Juries are very, very interesting creatures. As somebody who has tried numerous trials, hundreds, and has been involved in many, many more in various capacities. For example, no law firm has tried more jury trials over the course of the last 3 or 4 years than Deters Law, and I've been involved in every one of those. I mean, so we have had jury trial after jury trial after jury trial, and it always blows me away. Sometimes you get a jury who gets it right. Sometimes you get a jury who gets it wrong. And you're like, how the heck did they ever do that? Sometimes you get juries who overthink things. I always used to tell juries that let's focus on the forest, let's not focus on the trees, big picture here. And that has served me very well. I've had lots of juries after the verdict say, you know, you saying to just focus on the big picture meant a lot to our deliberations. The other thing you know about juries is you never know who lied to get on the jury. You never know who's biased. You never know who on that jury might know the prosecutor. You never know who has a political agenda. And despite the questioning going through and picking a jury, it is why there's that cliche that you never know what a jury is going to do. You just never do know. I also want to give you some insight. I'm assuming that Wisconsin law is the same as Kentucky and Ohio. Here's something that might shock all of you that don't realize this. Do you know that a jury is never told when they're deciding guilt or innocence? And it has to be unanimous, just so you know. Guilt has to be unanimous. Do you know that they're never told what the punishment is of that conviction? They're not told what it is. I can tell you that I've been involved in at least one case where the jury, after finding my client guilty, it was like a lost cause, but I had no choice but to try the case. When they found out what the sentence was going to be, they felt terrible, terrible. And I saw yesterday on the news, they put up what the punishment is for the murder charge and some other, and it's like, you know, this kid could go away for life. There's some more things that I want you all to know. The judges like to let the juries decide the case. But judges control what really happens. He can set it aside. And a judge also controls sentencing. So I think, this is just my personal opinion, I think that this judge is like a guardian angel to Kyle Rittenhouse. I think he wants this jury to do the right thing, but I feel like this judge is going to be Kyle Rittenhouse's guardian angel if it goes off the rails. The other thing about this case that you don't know is, are some of these jurors really scared of what their verdict might be based upon some of the threats and the intimidations? You know what? I'm a little shocked how some jurors can be intimidated like that. If I was a jury, I wouldn't be intimidated. Another thing that I think is important for you to know is this mistrial motions that the judge has set on. Remember I said he could be the guardian angel? He can rule on those mistrials anytime, including after the jury verdict. And he's not ruled on them. He's like he's putting them in his pocket, so to speak, to decide at a later date. So ladies and gentlemen, the American Jury and Bulldog Nation, that's a little insight. Now on the political front in Rittenhouse, I crack up that Psaki has the nerve to say, we don't need vigilante justice. Yet, the left, the American Communist 10, is perfectly okay with the mobs and the riots and burning everything down. So ladies and gentlemen, the American Jury and Bulldog Nation, I hope the verdict is not guilty, self-defense, but who knows? Oh, I got to just share something else with you. The Arbery trial. You know, I'm somebody who believes that those two guys murdered that black man. Now, I marvel, and I check, I actually have a few of my far left friends' Facebook pages that I'll check out just to see what they're saying. And I marvel how some of these people are like, Rittenhouse should go away forever. And they're all for those two guys that shot him going. In other words, they clearly don't change their political agenda when they look at these things instead of calling them straight up based upon the facts. I mean, the facts to me, Rittenhouse self-defense, Arbery murder. But these people on the left, see, they want Arbery murder, Rittenhouse murder too. It's just what fits their narrative. This is the Bulldog. Every dog has their day. I hope you've enjoyed this analysis.